Imagine you're about to leave for work, but have to check the local news first. The announcer is talking about road closures because a gigantic dinosaur is taking a stroll through the busiest intersection of the city. Living with dinosaurs would be so much more challenging. While it's intriguing to think about today, did dinosaurs and humans once live together in the past? Wouldn't there be fossils? What was it like for humans? We're talking about all of this and more. First, let's understand the creationist view about dinosaurs and humans. Young-Earth Creationists believe that our planet's age is between 6,000 and 10,000 years. This heavily contrasts with scientific measurements that put the Earth at around 4 billion years old. Although dinosaurs aren't mentioned in the Bible, creationists believe dinosaurs were once around with human beings. According to them, dinosaurs were eliminated during the global flood and did not make it onto Noah's Ark. But what about all the dinosaur fossils that have been found? Creationists say that all these fossils were saved thanks to the flood. Even if the scientific measurements are flawed, how do they explain the absence of human fossils along with the dinosaurs? There have been human fossils found separately, but Young-Earth Creationists agree that modern humans are the descendants of Noah. So these human fossils are people who died after the Great Flood and not as a result of it. Some creationists have tried to explain this through various theories. Let's learn about them one by one. Theory 1 suggests other animals have few records. One of their explanations is that there are other animal groups that have very few fossil records, but even then, their fossil records do exist, which counters their argument. Also, the animal groups that are sparse are more soft-bodied organisms such as jellyfish. They're not vertebrates. This only raises people's doubts about Theory 1. Creationists say there was not a large enough human population. Another explanation given by creationists for the lack of human fossils is that there were not enough of us at that time. They believe that the human population before the flood was only a few 100 million, but that doesn't add up either. The climate conditions and longer lifespans meant that humans would actually have been in the billions back then. If the theory that there were not enough humans is to be taken seriously, the same would apply to the dinosaur population. Dinosaurs certainly wouldn't have been in the billions either, yet we have many fossils as evidence. Even if there were not enough humans, it's very unlikely we would have absolutely no remains. There would still be some evidence. Is there weight in the theory about humans escaping the flood initially? Another theory is that humans were able to get away from the flood during the initial stages. Considering that all animals supposedly died as soon as the water showed up, how were small children and the elderly able to get away? Even if they somehow were able to survive, what happened to all the artifacts they would have left behind? Maybe humans lived in isolated pockets. Creationists suggest human beings may have lived in isolated areas during that time, and that these fossils simply haven't been found yet. This kind of theory would have no justification whatsoever. Since Noah's flood was supposed to have destroyed the entire Earth, it wouldn't make much sense to suggest the evidence hasn't been discovered. There are other theories to take into account as well. Young-Earth organizations suggest that the Institute of Creation Research, the ICR, have put forward other possibilities. In one of the articles published on their website, it's claimed that dinosaur fossil layers have sea, swamp, and lake plants along with animals. It goes on to say that human fossils will be found on rock layers that are offshore, so it could be hard to dig for them. This argument can also be proven false, simply because it assumes dinosaurs were swamp dwellers while humans lived on dry land. Dinosaur remains have been found in rocks, suggesting they were living in all types of land on Earth. This is simply another version of the argument that dinosaurs and human beings did not live anywhere close to each other. The article also suggests that there are no fossils of dogs, deer, and bears along with the dinosaurs. This has been used to show that dinosaurs were living in swamps away from humans. The problem lies with the fact that no fossils of animal groups related to dogs and deer have been found in rocks. If you go even further, there were no remains of modern mammal groups such as kangaroos, elephants, and raccoons. Would the argument then be that mammals were also living separately from dinosaurs? Or that mammals were also taken later in the floods? Even if humans did live at the same time as dinosaurs and were separated by a geographical location, the flood would have rendered this point useless. Since the Great Flood affected the entire planet, it would have mixed the remains of dinosaurs and humans. So not finding human fossils along with dinosaurs is pretty strange. Strangely, Young-Earth Creationists also claim that dinosaurs escaped the initial floods, just like humans. If both were able to escape the initial stages, how is it that only dinosaur fossils have been found from the period? Even if humans were not buried in the same place as the dinosaurs, there should be some remains. This definitely raises more questions than answers. So did God do it? When confronted with arguments that go against their theories, creationists tend to pull out the trump card and say God did it. If human remains are not found alongside dinosaur fossils, it's because God destroyed all of them. According to the Bible, God said he would destroy all humanity, so that's what would have happened. That essentially becomes the final argument for creationists when they're unable to logically explain their side. But then you would have to wonder if God also chose to destroy all the tools that humans used before the flood. There are no signs of pottery or clothing either. So what's the ultimate truth? None of the arguments provided by Young-Earth Creationists hold up to scrutiny. Anyone looking at the evidence would not be convinced by their arguments. If there were human beings around at the same time as dinosaurs, there would be fossil remains of both groups. It's not just fossils that are missing. If there were humans during this time, you would find other remains such as pottery, tools, and clothing. This is a smoking gun that Young-Earth Creationists can't get away from. They've even tried to make up false discoveries to close the issue. Another question Young-Earth Creationists would have to answer is what happened to the dinosaurs if they did survive the flood through Noah's Ark. Typically, Young-Earth Creationists suggest dinosaurs couldn't handle the change in climate after getting off the Ark. Other theories suggest human beings hunted dinosaurs and drove them to extinction. Those theories make no logical sense either. If Young-Earth Creationists are to have their arguments validated, they need evidence to show they're right. Currently, no such evidence exists to support their claims. For now, it's safe to assume dinosaurs and humans didn't live together before the flood. Whether you're a Jurassic Park fan or not, dinosaurs are definitely fascinating. Interested in learning more about them? Let's keep your curiosity going with a couple more videos, shall we? Here's what you need to know. Check out 13 things that could happen if dinosaurs were still alive. You can also watch our video on what happened to the asteroid that killed the dinosaurs. Go ahead, click one. Or better yet, watch both and learn more about dinosaurs. What's your favorite myth about the dinosaurs? Let us know in the comments below.